This review brought to you by Auto Bowling. Oh boy, here we go. Finally back in the studio. As you obviously know, we're going to be taking a look at Snapdragon. Much like his homeboy, Apeface, what you would think would be the main cockpit is a lie, because the actual cockpit that his Titan Master sits in is back here, which, to be fair, Crunk's got a, pretty detailed cockpit going on there. Now, if we actually take a look at Crunk himself, he is sharing a bit of styling with his, bigger Decepticon partner, which is kind of cool in a way. When you go ahead and put a homeboy up in the cockpit area, these areas, you can just close those up and he'll sit in there all nice and neat. Overall, this jet, I really do like it. It's got a little bit of an SR-71 Blackbird feel, while also being very Cybertronian in its jet stylings. But at the same time, it's not trying to be a seeker in any way. So I really do like how it's just actually unique on its own. And back here, the thrusters are slightly less than fantastic, simply because as you can see, the bottom part of him is what forms his robot hands. So guys, I think that Snapdragon may be quickly overtaking Apeface as far as my favorite jet, because it's kind of like the lessons that they learned from Apeface, they took time to improve upon for Snapdragon. And that is awesome, because everything from his, whitish gray plastic, just to how its overall design and everything feels a lot more superior than it did to Apeface. I really do like it a lot better than Apeface's, unfortunately. So, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, dude, but you just monkeyed around too much, and you just got burned by the dragon. And here is old Snappy in his beast mode. Now, okay, let's go ahead and knock the thing out that people have probably the biggest complaint with this figure, and that's the fact that the tail here is essentially just the fuselage of the jet just flipped over with the very tip, mimicking a tail. However, I'm going to be honest with you. From this side, it's not a glaring issue, and I'm actually okay with it, to be honest with you guys. So, hey, if it bugs you, I kind of get where you're coming from, but just personally, again speaking, not an issue with me. Where I draw issue is actually with his bottom beast jaw. And that's because Crunk forms it. And I get it, yeah, that's G1 accurate to the toy. However, as I find myself saying more and more often, that's not necessarily the best thing. Now, only because when you're messing with him, he's attached by his head, just like any other, Titan Master port. That just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me as far as the bottom beast jaw goes. It seems to be holding up fine, but I just doubt the structural integrity of it. Now, another thing is, you look at his eyes, looks like our homeboy's taking a nap here. Well, I think just due to the engineering nature of, having that Titan Master plugged up in there, or maybe it's just a piece that I was unaware of before, you can kind of see something that sort of looks like an eye. You know what, overall as a space T-Rex, he's okay, but I'm like, where have I seen a mechanical space T-Rex before? Oh, that's right. And, to be fair, even though he's working off a 1987 design, and this is more of a 1990s, Megatron is just clearly pulling it off better. Oh, all of the Decepticon headmasters at last. And, it's a little more fair to put him with these guys than a superstar like Transmetal Megatron, but I had to show it off regardless, guys. But as far as his here, he actually looks really good. Obviously, he's going to tie into the stylings with more modern generation figures. So, it's nice to have all these guys. Anyway, at least we got one shot with all the homeboys together. Ooh, and what a competent figure this guy is. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and start off on is look at that head sculpt. That is just Decepticon to the core, as if you couldn't already tell by his Decepticon boob symbols down here. But overall, look at the detailing. I mean, this guy is just drenched in it, and the color scheme doesn't like hide it or obscure it, but instead it just kind of all works really well together. Now, the one thing is, throughout his robot mode, you can definitely tell, you know, the distinct parts of his jet mode. I love how just this whole jet assembly piece right here really just makes his arms beefy and meaty. I mean, just look at this guy. Look at how cool that is. In the show, he wasn't shown being very smart, but I'm like, I look at this guy, and he could be almost as cool as Double Dealer in some respects. I think it is kind of funny that these guys, above all else, they were kind of given special attention by having these guys be the Voyagers and the other guys just being Deluxes. And overall, just like in Beast Mode, guys, I view that he helps fill out the back section, again, being one of the bigger boys, and it just helps kind of complete the entire look. So anyway, guys, in final thoughts, he's basically just a really worthy successor to the legacy that his ape brother first brought us, and also he combines some of the fun elements of Titan's Return with some of the fun elements of Earthrise. Amazing, really kind of a fun guy, and I hope you guys enjoyed us taking a look at none other than Earthrise Snapdragon with his Titan Master Crunk. But if I can ask you guys, if you haven't already, please do check out my Lynx video. Excuse me. There was a lot of love and effort put into that, along with the Skywarp and Thundercracker one, which had even more love put into that one. But anyway, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this new style that we're doing with videos as of late. So with that being said, guys, there's nothing else to say. And until next time, we'll see you in another review.